don't keep durbhavana. Durbhavana is ill will, ill feeling towards someone. This person is very bad, this person has done this to me, that person has done that to me. This ill feeling, don't keep it. Why? Because your thoughts will pollute you. They will impact your consciousness. A sage used to live up in the Himalayas in a hut by the lakeside. These mountain lakes are known for their clarity, purity, tranquility, serenity. And the swans used to come and congregate there. One hunter came looking for swans. He was astonished to see the swans come and sit all by the side as the sadhu sits on the side of the lake to meditate. They are oblivious of him. They have no fear of him. They walk all around. In fact, they were kind of drawn by the vibrations that he was emanating during his meditation. That hunter was on an assignment. He wanted to capture some swans and go and sell them at the zoo. So he told the sadhu that I have been trying and they are so elusive. Now they come and sit all by you. Can you please help me? Tomorrow you keep this net under your dhoti. And when the swans come close, as they do, you throw the net on them. First the sadhu refused, but the hunter convinced him that it's for a better cause, a bigger cause. You know, human beings will look at the swans in the Delhi Zoo and be thrilled. So the sadhu got convinced. He said, all right. Next day he went to meditate with the net under him and sat down. He kept his eyes closed, thinking as usual the swans will all come around him. And once when he opens his eyes, he'll catch them unprepared. But when he opened his eyes, he found that there was no swan anywhere around. Somehow the swans had sensed. These animals, they have got a greater sixth sense in this regard. Because they can't understand human communication. So their intuitive grasp is not dulled by speech. And that is why they grasp just by feeling. They had realized that the sadhu's feelings had changed. He had now got the thought in his mind, I am going to catch these swans. It is by our thoughts that we purify ourselves. It is by our thoughts that we pollute ourselves. So when we keep resentful thoughts towards others, we think, this person is very bad, he did this to me. But the thought resides in us. And the loss that is suffered is by us, not by the other. If you wish to progress in sadhana, then don't create ill will even in your dreams, even by mistake. Don't see the faults of others. See your own faults. Two brothers came along with their father to listen to Swamiji's program. And they were inspired. Yes, we wish to do a life transformation and we wish to manage our mind, etc. So when they went back home, the father inspired them that tomorrow you both wake up at 4 a.m. and meditate. They said, yes, Father, we have got the inspiration of our life. Tomorrow onwards, we'll never be the same. Next morning, the elder son woke up at 4 a.m. and the younger one was the younger one. He kept on sleeping. It was so blissful. So the elder one, he said, Father, what a rascal he is. I am awake here meditating and he is just sleeping in his bed. The father said, my child, if you had to find faults with your brother, you shouldn't have woken up at 4 a.m. You were better sleeping. Isn't it? What is the point in waking up if at the end of it you are just finding faults with others? Likewise, what is the point in coming to satsang? If we are doing fault finding, it is purposeless. So, looking at the faults of others, we accumulate their sins. One king wanted to give in charity to the Brahmins. He arranged a Brahma Bhoj. And he had got the cooks to cook a lavish meal. But accidents happened. One eagle was carrying a dead snake and it dropped the snake in a cauldron. The snake got cooked along with the Brahman's food and made it poisonous. Now when the Brahmins started eating, some of them fell sick. The analysis was done and it was discovered that there was poison in the food. Chitragupt, the Devata who has the task of noting people's karmas, he started wondering, the sin of hurting these Brahmins, on whose account should I put it? I cannot put it in the account of the snake, it is dead. I cannot put it on the account of the eagle, it is Gyan Rahit, devoid of knowledge. It had no such intention. I cannot put it on the account of the king either, because the king did not do it deliberately. It was an accident. In the meantime, some more Brahmins were coming and the news had spread. So there was one lady standing outside and the Brahmins asked the lady, we have heard the king is giving a Brahma Bhoj and along with the meal he is offering gifts to the Brahmins. The lady said, don't! That king is giving poison to kill the Brahmins. Chitragupt said, decision made. All the sin is put on the account of this lady. So it is said, if you point out somebody's mistakes and he has not made any, you get the entire sin. And if you point out anybody's mistakes and they have made it, you still get half the sin. It's very dangerous. Tire not, I will not do fault finding. One husband and wife. The husband's name was Champak Lal and his wife was Popta Behan. So Champak Lal and Popta Behan, they went to the mandir. And after they came back from the mandir, Popta Behan told Champak Lal, she said, my dear husband, did you see there was dirt accumulated on the first stair of the temple? The husband said, I did not see. My dear husband, did you see that the paint under the window was slightly torn? Husband said, I did not see. My dear husband, did you see that in the temple there was a little trash by the corner? Husband said, I did not see, Popata. So Popta Behan said, then what is the use? Why do you go to the temple at all? if you don't see all this. So Popta Ben is going there to see the faults. So Maharaj Ji says, don't be a fault finder, be a good finder. There are faults everywhere. Nothing is free of defects. You can find fault even with Lord Krishna. Why doesn't he stand straight? Why does he stand crooked? Right? It is so easy to find fault with others and so difficult to find fault with ourselves. It is so easy to judge others and so difficult to learn from them. So we follow the easy path. But the problem with this is, first of all, it increases our pride. Because we then assume the other person is wrong and I am right. And the fact is we are all wrong because we are in Maya. So as long as we are in Maya, we have got so many defects. And when we are looking at the defects of others, we are not turning our gaze to our own defects, which are there. And they will only keep on increasing. That is why Sri Maharaj says, look, don't make this mistake. तू जो औरों की ओर करता है अंगुस्ते नुमाई. You who point fingers at others. Look, these three fingers are pointing towards you. So, take the cue. Maharaj Ji says, show your mind your own defects. That is the pathway to improvement. We should take inspiration from the saints. They knew the art of how to think in an adverse situation to ensure that the mind doesn't get polluted. There is the story of a devotee from South India called Venkatnath. He used to engage in his bhajan, and the neighbors would make fun of him. So atheism has always existed in this world of Maya, even in historical times, and it was there in the time of Venkatnath. And the youth are more susceptible to atheistic theories. So some of the youth thought of a practical joke. They made a garland of shoes and slippers and hung it by the gate entrance of this guy's cottage. That when he comes, he will come in his masti, unaware, just taking the names Narayan, 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 and he will hit this garland, it will fall on him. We will all have a hearty laugh. So Venkatnath came as usual, his mind in the other world. And without realizing, there was a reception committee. He went and hit this garland and it fell upon him, the garland of shoes. Now he could also have created a monster in his mind. Oh my God, this is what they did. They don't do to anybody else. They only do to me. What is it? The youth, when the garland fell, they started laughing. Ah, 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 ah. Venkatnath said, very good, very good. What? He is not disturbed. He said, karma valambaka kechit, kechit jnana valambaka. Some people, they take the shelter of the path of karma for elevation. Some take the shelter of the path of jnana for their elevation. Vayam tu haridasanam padarakshavalambaka. But me, I will take the shelter of the padarakshak, the shoes of Haridas, these devotees of the Lord. Now he is seeing them all as devotees and he is saying, I am taking the shelter of their padarakshak, their shoes. That is the cleverness. How to think so that ill will does not get generated within. So, this knowledge that we should not harbor ill will is common to saintly personalities around the world. The Sufi saint by the name of Sant Usman, he was walking in the streets of Arabia when somebody from the second floor threw ashes upon him. You know, the burnt ashes, threw a trayful upon him. Now again, he refused to create a monster. 300 people went before. You did not do it to them. Why did you do it to me? He just looked up into the sky and said, Ya Khuda, oh Lord, you are so compassionate. I was worthy of this, that you should have thrown burning ember upon me. And all you did was to throw ashes. The person who threw it must have melted completely. That look, even after throwing these ashes, I could not disturb the peace of this saint. That is the quality to strive for. That is the sign of progress in sadhana. Don't create ill will. And the fact is, the way we are, that is how we see the world. There was a room with 1,000 mirrors. One little girl went there and she said, I see so many people in this room. Her father said, tell them I love you. She said, I love you. And they all responded with such a loving expression. She was followed by a boy later on, and he saw so many people. He said, how dare they all charge me together? So he lifted his hand, I'll smash you. And they all lifted their hand. So that is exactly how this world is. It is not good, it is not bad. The way we are, that is how we see this world. There was once an old man. He used to sit outside the village. And when travelers used to come from there, passing by, they would ask the old man, how are the people who live in this village? He would tell them, how are the people from where you have come? If they would say they are very bad, he would say the people here are also very bad. You can carry on. And if they would say they are so nice, he would say you will find these people also so nice. So the fact is that this is the world created by God, Ishavasya-midam sarvam. We see it according to the nature of our heart. The moment we say that somebody is bad, this thought is bad, the defect is in that thought within us. So Maharaj Ji says, beware. If you wish to progress in sadhana, then don't create ill will even in your dreams, even by mistake.